Marine City National Hospital. By the way, fun fact, the original series creator actually oversaw the game as well. So, hopefully that says good things. Oh, that is some very slow text. As soon as where are my options? Wow, that is exceptionally slow text. Far above the man-made dome of the once renowned Metro Paradise stood an ivory tower, and within this tower lied part of the city's core functions. And deep within it, no, you didn't do anything, Banhammer. They infiltrated the tower's core with ease.
なんて簡単なんだろう。ネットの壁は紙より薄いな。セキュリティシステムの扉は子供部屋の鍵よりもたやすく開くじゃないか。
Well, I guess since it's voiced, I'll pretty much just let it roll until the voice finishes and then we'll progress. I don't have to do as much VO today, it seems. But I'm wondering, can I access options? No? I don't want to press anything and put it into accidental skip mode, so... He whispered to himself. He'd avoided social interactions for so long that now he only spoke to himself. I know that feeling. Hey, 9 Title Mont Blanc, how's it going? He searched. And searched for his toy, which had to be somewhere. And there it was, his toy, in the neurosurgery room, as written on the hospital map. It was his first time touching it, but with only a glance he knew.
これは僕のために作られた人形だ。こんなところにしまい込んでおいちゃかわいそうだ。さあ、行こう。僕と一緒に。今から君は僕の体となって動くんだ。行こう。僕には使命がある。お母さんから託された大切な使命が。
Have you ever seen the anime Psychopaths anyways? I have now!
人を幸せにする。それが僕の使命だ。
I'm curious what its definition of happiness is.
そうだよね、お母さん。
Oh, hey. Alright. Nadeshiko Kutachi or Takuma Tsurugi? Who are we going to play as? I have no idea what this affects. But I'll leave it up to you guys. Alright, well, Nadeshiko it is. It was only a win by 1. Hey Shades, how are you? Metropolitan Public Welfare Hospital.
久我立なでしこさん、退院おめでとうございます。災難でしたね。研修途中に事故に遭われるだなんて。
Kind of a shame they don't match the speed of the text to the voice. Steins Gate actually did that, so you knew that the line was done whenever they finished speaking.
事故というのはどのような万全の対策をしていても一定の確率で起こるものです。偶然それが私に起こってしまった。それだけですよ。はあ。ともかく退院できることは嬉しく思います。入院中はお世話になりました。
For those of you unfamiliar with Psychopaths, it's an interesting sort of dystopian future. It's not entirely totalitarian, but it's definitely a strange place to live.
あ、いえ、我々は医者ですから、なすべきことをしたまでです。それよりも、あなたの記憶を取り戻すことができなかったことだけが気がかりですよ。
No compiler breathing animation. No magically shape-shifting breasts in this one. Right, I had no memories. To be more precise, all my memories from childhood till now were gone. I could remember basic knowledge and life skills. I knew I'd studied healthcare and psychology, and also had the aptitude to work at the Ministry of Welfare PSB. Oh. It appeared that I'd been in an accident to the training facility, which led to my memory loss, although I could not recall ever getting into an accident. You say it's dystopian, wouldn't want to live there? Fuck that. That isn't necessarily the definition of dystopian, though.
Yeah, 少し考え事をしていただけです。
それなら良いのですが。何かあったらすぐにいらしてくださいね。
Looks like a vampire. They use a lot of very pale color palettes in Psychopaths, particularly for the people.
そうさせていただきます。今日は職場に挨拶に行こうと思っています。
Hey, Valiant, how are you today?
が遅れましたから。
No accident, you're a horrifying clone.
そうですか。無理はなさらないでください。それでは、いってらっしゃいませ。頑張ってくださいね。
Yeah, it is a little bit messy, isn't it, Venom?
ありがとうございます。
It's whiter than playing Cotton Eye Joe at a children's birthday party. Holy shit. After giving my thanks to the doctor, I flagged down a taxi and got in. The doctor seemed to have very good hue, probably because he was fulfilling his duty. I wonder, actually, can I pull up anything that'll let me... I'm so worried I'm going to hit something that's going to be like, oh, speed time is just going to, like, blow through all the text. Okay, well, there's our log. Okay, log start, log end. Ah, there we go. Okay, that just gets you straight to tips. Well, for those unfamiliar, we might as well hit on FTUE. Superficial readout of the Psychopath barometer that does not use the civil system's analysis and judgment. Ultimately, it's merely a simple indicator of a person's psychopath using only physiological parameters. If one's psychological state is healthy, the hue will be a lighter color, while stress and negative thoughts will cause a clouded, darker color. Lighter colors are typically called clear, signifying a healthy mind. Because of the widespread indoctrinations of measurement devices, hue readings have become easily accessible and are used as an everyday index for mental care. Yeah, this future is all about mental health. So how do I get to anything? Oh, just like that doctor, I would make sure to perform my duties as well. After all, this is the path that Sybil had given me. Ouch, Venom. Alright, so where do I get to just save and the like? Because I can only seem to get into the tips, and I wonder if it'll... Oh, it's nice, I can see my pass color right now. We're running purple. Can't see the other stuff under it. No, maybe they won't give me access to the other stuff just yet. Oh, there we go. They just weren't giving it to me earlier. Alright, I want to see something in the options. Skip red, force skip, skip speed, auto speed, text speed! Boom! That's better. And sound. How are we for audio levels right now? Granted, we haven't heard a whole lot, but might as well get a base level check so we can adjust if necessary. There we go. Our Psychopass color is a nice light purple. We're good. Yeah, voice up just in case seems good. Has text speed adjuster 10 out of 10 better than anything you played yesterday. Yeah. I have very, very low tolerance for text-based games that do not have fucking text speed options.
同じ監視官の常森茜です。本来なら銀の座監視官が案内に着くはずだったんですが、今は少し手が離せなくて。
I'm curious to figure out exactly where in the first season this takes place, because I know it is during first season. And it has to be before a little past the halfway mark. The woman who greeted me looked to be around my age, but she gave off a childish impression. Though it was probably a bit rude of me to think of my senior like that.
とりあえず行きましょうか。いつ出動要請がかかるかわかりませんし。
Oh yeah, Linkfi. Yesterday we were playing Phoenix Wright, and while the game was great, there were no text speed options and the text was excruciatingly slow.
そんなに忙しいのですか?
Hey, Brutal, how are you?
忙しいというか、人手不足が深刻なんです。私なんて配属初日から事件現場でしたから。
As we walked, Inspector Tsunemori told me about her first day on the job. It seemed tougher than I thought it would be. There was no surprise why only a few were suitable.
そういえば久我立さん、事故に遭われたって聞きましたけど、お体大丈夫なんですか?
今日退院したところです。問題ありません。
退院したばっかりって無理しちゃダメですよ。
Unless your name was I'll be your guide and you're spazzing out, yes. I'll be your guide was great. A slow texted program is strict to increase playtime, dude. I don't know what the hell. There's a few games, though, that to this day, for years, they've kept the same weird slow speed. No one knows why.
体調もメンタルチェックも問題なしと診断されました。事故で着任が遅れた分もありますし、私は時間を無駄にすることを好みません。
Well, apparently we're no nonsense in all business.
そうですか。真面目なんですね、久我立さん。
それより、これからどこへ向かえばよいのでしょう。刑事課のオフィスフロアですか？
そうですね。とりあえず一係のオフィスに案内します。
So, quick bit of background for people unfamiliar with Psychopass. What this particular division does is, well, let me give you something on the society as it stands. The stuff they were talking about with Hugh earlier. Basically, there are scanners and the like all over the place that measure people's mental states, pretty much at all times, and their likeliness of committing a crime. And if that goes up too high, people are brought in. If it goes up exceptionally high, people are just executed. The best part is that it's not really up to you which one you do. The gun makes the decision. The gun will decide whether or not it's time to apply non-lethal or lethal force, or whether it's time to fire at all. These are the people who get to go out and do that. Hey, Nightquaker, how are you?
今日は他の人もみんな出勤してますから、すぐにご紹介できると思います。案内がてらお引き合わせしますね。
よろしくお願いします。
No, Mont Blanc, this actually is a separate set of stories. It takes place kind of around, as far as I've gathered, the halfway-ish point of the first season. Judge Dredd approves of these guns. Fuck no, are you kidding me? Can you imagine trying to tell Dredd not to shoot someone? During my hospitalization, I'd read a few books on workplace communication. I did not know of my colleagues and subordinates, but I was confident that I would do fine. I raised my chin and followed Inspector Tsunemori. Like Minority Report without the mercy. Yeah.
正岡さん、鴻上さん。
As we walked down the corridor, Inspector Tsunemori stopped the two men walking towards us. Both of them gave off a dangerous impression.
お嬢ちゃんか。そっちの女性は
Fuck yeah, Masaoka hype. I love that guy.
本日付で配属された久我たちなでしこ監視官です。
You betray the law, you get shot. That's the dread way. In a lot of cases, these people haven't necessarily betrayed the law yet. That's kind of the thing.
久我たちです。よろしくお願いいたします。
なるほど。俺たちの新しい飼い主ってわけだ。
飼い主とは失礼ですが、公安局では女性が男性を飼育する習慣でも。
はっ、こいつはギノザ監視官以上の堅物か。というかお嬢ちゃん、俺たちのことを教えてなかったのか。
It's not necessarily thought crime. It's more that the specific situations and circumstances of somebody's existence are pushing them towards breaking points.
久我たちさん、こちらの。
Can I just pop straight in on that? Nah, it won't put me in on. I was hoping if I hit L1 on when I had that up. Alright, Enforcers. An MWSPB detective. Was it SPB? That was PSB. No, it's PSB. They typoed. Detective who is tasked with investigating criminal cases. Although they are latent criminals who possess high crime coefficients, meaning these are people basically you would be arresting, enforcers have been deemed suitable by the civil system to understand, predict, and counter criminal activity. Because of this, they are recruited from isolation wards, then released to the Public Safety Bureau. Enforcers are placed under strict surveillance at all times and are prohibited from leaving facility grounds unless accompanied by an inspector. Oops. To prevent possible evasion, enforcers are not allowed to drive without prior authorization, on top of other various restrictions. So yeah, we use criminals as hunting
執
dogs.
行官といって私たちの部下に当たるんです。
Or people who could be criminals, I should say.
ああ、執行官に関しての知識はあります。
Latent criminals who hunted other latent criminals. As such, they knew how latent criminals thought and were adept at catching them. And our job as inspectors was to inspect and monitor them, ensuring that those unique latent criminals did not run wild.
分かってるなら話が早い。鴻上信也だ。ま、よろしく頼むぜ。新しい監視官さん。
俺は正岡智美だ。と、これからギノザ監視官のところへ行くのかい？
はい、そのつもりですけど。
It's a very interesting world system they have in place. I really enjoyed the world build that they did for Psychopaths.
なら先に先生のところへ行った方がいいな。今ちょっとごたついてるから。
何かあったんですか？
何かあったというか、係のバカが書類ミスしてたのが見つかって、ギノが直してるってだけだ。
Yep, just
もう
started.
少ししたら落ち着くだろう。
Man, those are some nice, crisp HD sprites. See, fuck, I don't need fucking HDR compatibility with my PS4. I just want higher res sprites. Give me better 2D tech.
係君ってばドジだな。
And of course, I will say, in deference to
では
those who have
そ
not
の
watched the
先
show,
生
let's avoid
とい
anything
う方のところ
spoilery.
へ向かいましょう。
You know, just in
ギノ
case.
ザ監視官の邪魔をすることは私の望むところではありませんから。
そうですね。では正岡さん、鴻上さん、失礼します。
No need for pro, bro.
ああ、また後でな、常森。
I was brought to the analysis lab, which was full of multi-panel monitors and high-powered computers.
ああ、やかねちゃん。今日はどうしたの？
新しい監視官の案内をしてるんです。久我たちさん、こちらが分析官の唐野森紫音さんです。分析官っていうのは。
Hey, Kincaid, doing well. How about you? Curious what they actually pull up for analyst on that. CID Analyst Department Technical Officer. They mainly analyze data and support detectives during cases, but analysts have a multivariate role. Depending on the situation, they may manage the mental health of division members or hack into cybersecurity systems. Much like enforcers, analysts are latent criminals and require the permission and supervision of inspectors if they want to leave the premise or other non-work-related activities. Yeah, inspectors have all the control.
まあここにある機械たちと私の頭脳であなたたちの捜査をサポートするのがお仕事よ。死因の解析、該当スキャナやカメラのデータチェックに分析、サイコパス診断まで幅広くね。
I'm actually curious what they're going to give us for information on the psychopath itself. I kind of covered it a bit, but let's see what they decide to say about it. With cymatic scans, which measure an individual's behavior, disposition, mentality, and emotions, tendencies and traits can be quantified as a value known as the psychopath. At the present year of 2112, society revolves around the systematic quantities of psychopath's values. These values are utilized for mental care management and help maintain a sound mind. In addition, the civil system and all our AI secretaries rely on psychopath's values to measure a person's occupational aptitude, suggest recreational activities, etc., to create an ideal society in which happiness can be obtained by all. It's pretty all-encompassing.
わかりました。いろいろとお世話になることが多そうですね。よろしくお願いします。
こちらこそよろしくね。可愛い子が増えるのはお姉さん大歓迎よ。
Oh, nice can carry him. Starlet, how are you?
私の容姿が可愛いの定義に当てはまるかは個人主観の問題だと思いますが、好ましく思っていただけたことは嬉しく思います。
ちょっと、あかねちゃん、この子大丈夫なの？
We apparently really picked the incredibly straight-laced one.
なんていうか、久我達さん、ものすごく真面目な方みたいです。
Hey, Stevens, what's up, man?
なるほどね。あと悪いんだけど、2係から少し面倒な案件が入ってるの。親睦を深めるのは後でいいかしら。
あ、私たちも1係のオフィスに行く途中でしたから。それじゃあ、虎ノ森さん、また後で。
はい、また後でね。
Do we get to see my player character? We did at the beginning when we picked her and then for a little bit afterwards. I'm not sure how much we'll see her overall, though. Finally, we reached the office of the CID Division 1, my workplace from here on. There were 2 men and a woman inside, but which one was Inspector Ginoza?
ギノザさん、久我達さんをお連れしました。
The angry one.
ご苦労だったな、常森。まったく。かがりのバカが余計なことをしなければ。
すいません。
反省しているなら今度からちゃんとチェックしなさい。出ないと残業になるわよ。
厳しいな、クニッチは。
と、すまない。久我たち監視官なら君と同じく刑事課1係で監視官を務めるギノザ信親だ。
Hey, Rimsek, how are you?
久我たちです。監視官として社会のお役に立てるようお務めさせていただきます。
Yeah, we're about as straight-laced as they come. I think you made me pick the boring one, guys.
うわ、あかねちゃんを上回る優等生ないい子ちゃんが来ちゃった予感。
監視官デバイスの機能はチェックしたが、色相チェッカーなど使い方は確認しておくように。
Have a good one, Zacharias. Looks like Saya from the original Blood. Wow. Yeah, I can see that resemblance. Hearing that, I looked down at my wrist comm. Job of inspector was tough, and only a few were capable of handling the stress. The hue checker was the standard device used to maintain our state of mind. It seemed if there was a need, one could receive mental care supplements from the medical affairs department free of charge. I should probably check my hue regularly. Let's try checking it now. I'm really curious how much they're going to actually make me manage that kind of stuff. It's currently a clear color. To be expected since I'm an inspector.
ところで、そちらのお二人は執行官でしょうか？
ああ、国塚弥生とかがり修正だ。彼らは君とは違う。あまり慣れ合うな。あくまで道具だと思え。
Yeah, just view them as tools, huh?
うわ、ギノさんきっつ。
ちょっとギノザさん、そんな言い方は。
事実だ、常森。君も肝に銘じておけ。慌ただしくてすまないが、俺はこれを局長に提出してくる。あとは頼んだぞ。
久我達さん、ギノザさんが言ったことは、
Oh god, when you said spreadsheets the game, Shades, I thought you were going to be cracking a joke about EVE Online.
正論だと思うわ。まああなたの好きにすればいいけど。
部下との距離は節度を保ったものにしろということだと理解しました。
ああ、まああんたがそれでいいならいいけどさ、なんか調子狂う人だな。
そうでしょうか。それよりも一係の方はこれで全てですか？
ああ、いや、今ジュース買いに行ってる新人が一人、そろそろ戻ってくるはず。
Oh, to tell you the truth, Kinkari, I'm not actually entirely clear on what type of game it is outside the Viz novel stuff. I know we run cases, but I don't actually know what their mechanics are for them, so I'm quite curious to see.
ただいまーす。シュー、コーラでよかったよな。国塚城は紅茶っと。あれ、そっちのべっぴんさんは？
No, I think you were wrong, Venom. I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's the same if we played as him. He already seems to have more personality.
久我達なでしこです。本日付で刑事課の監視官として配属されました。
The moment I saw his face, a heavy throb started pounding inside my head. I wondered why.
お、つまり新しい
Maybe
上
he's
司
why we
ね。
lost our memory.
俺は剣拓磨。一昨日配属されたての新人。まあ、新人同士仲良くやろうぜ。お近づきの印にコーヒー飲むか？
He held out a can of what looked like very sweet coffee. So presumptuous of him. For some reason, I took it.
ありがとうございます、剣執行官。
いいっていいって。まあ、よろしくな。
Looking at his huge smile as he flashed his pearly white teeth, I suddenly felt a strange pressure within my chest.
よろしくお願いします。
I think we're going to wind up hitting him. He was an enforcer, a subordinate, or rather, something more like a tool. And somewhere deep within, I had this absurd notion that made me think he had something I needed. Like a footprint on fresh concrete, he left a strong impression on me. Hey, what's up, Dead Talus? Oh, you got your Vita today? Excellent. The Public Safety Bureau was always booming and bustling with cases flooding in, detectives running out. As such, an incident occurred immediately after I'd been assigned. It was located in a city far from Tokyo, so right after getting assigned, I was sent on an external investigation. These type of cases were not something that happened often. That's something I needed, a personality. Sado Marine City, Niigata Prefecture. A floating dome-like city amidst the space formed by the mainland Sado and the Noto Peninsula, once known as the Metro Paradise. The outside of it looks kind of like a racetrack. At first, it was a base of operations for methane hydrate mining and a model city of the future. That was all in the past. Now, the population had been on a steep decline. With the widespread implementation of drones, the northern region became an unmanned granary. Likewise, mining became automated, leading to many people leaving Sado Marine City. The population had already begun declining many years ago. Those in the residential area left first, and as they left, the abandoned district grew. The city reminded me of a dusty old toy chest surrounded by the sea. Although it was my first time here, I felt like I couldn't hear myself over the sound of that. It made me feel this strange sense of longing, homesickness.
初任務で出張も大変ですけど、一緒に頑張りましょうね。
Guess it's a good thing we turned the voices up.
はい、問題ありません。
Seeing as she was worried, I pumped my fist in the air, but for some reason, Inspector Tsunemori and the rest of Division 1 just stared at me.
あれ天
監視官に向かって失礼よ、かな
やる気は伝わってきましたよ。それじゃあ行きましょう。
Hey Shuja, how are you? Oh god, Thunderdome jokes. And it all started with a report filed by parents of a young girl. They claimed their daughter had been abducted.
都内にて誘拐事件が発生した。我々一係が捜査に当たることとなる。
誘拐事件ですか？
Tension coursed throughout the office. It was my first case. Naturally, my back straightened.
そりゃ穏やかじゃない話だな。詳細は？
資料を表示します。
Oh good lord, Daimyo messaged me. Hang on. Oh god, I think Daimyo might actually be wanting to do Phoenix Wright instead of P3P.
Oh, 可愛い子じゃん。
行方不明となってるのは松方しおり。都内の高校生か。
Don't have to worry about her psychopath. She's a robot. Who, us? Kinda seems that way. Displayed beside the abductee's portrait was a profile of her. A 16-year-old, female, first-year student at Sakurazaka Senior High School.
はい。昨夜から帰宅していないとの訴えが両親からあったようですね。
だが常森城、それだけで誘拐だと決めつけるのは早くないか。悩める年頃だ。家に帰りたくなくてプチ家出って可能性もあるぜ。
Oh boy. Oh, hang on.
Matsukata Shioriの色相はクリアから、そういった非行を起こすことはない。それに不審な点がある。
不審な点ですか？
これを見ろ。
Image on the monitor changed to one taken by a street camera. Other than the abductee Shiori Matsukata, another person, a male of similar age, was present, and in need of a haircut. The youth's face was not visible, but Shiori was smiling as if she had a close relationship with him. The two were last seen getting into an automated taxi.
ずいぶん親しそうだが、この坊やは？
まだ身元の確認は取れていない。今、空の森が街頭スキャナとカメラのログを分析し、二人の足取りを追っている。
おいおい、この坊やがまさか誘拐犯だってのか？どう見たって仲のいい友達じゃねえか。
私からもそう見えます。ですが、少年の手の動き、少し気になりませんか？
手の動き？
We played back the footage and zoomed in on his hand. He awkwardly reached out to Shiori and he kept wiping his hands as if they were sweaty, clammy. He was nervous.
仲のいい友人と断定するには、少年の
The
緊張
hairstyle
が
of
印象で
fish
す。
eyes from... Oh
何か
god!
あるのかと。
Oh. Damn it. Why have I suddenly forgotten his name? Mitsuo Kubo. That dude? Suddenly a call came in.
はーい、二人の姿が別の場所のカメラに記録されてたわ。ちょっとまずいことになってるみたいね。
The monitor switched screens and showed Shiori and the young man in a different location.
今日は来てくれてありがとう。急に訪ねてくるからびっくりしちゃった。でも
God,
楽
I
し
saw
か
the
った。
color of the hair from when I thought Makishima, but it's not right for that.
過去形？待てよ、まだいいだろ。
もう帰んなきゃ。門限だもん。
はあ？お前東京じゃ一人暮らしだろ？なんなの門限って。
ホームセクレタリー AI がログ取ってるの。門限は19時。それを過ぎたら家族へ連絡が行く。
Alright, well that's all we have time for today. No, I'm just fucking with you, Red. How are you? Alright, let's see what their info is on the AI secretary, because these were kind of interesting. Oh, thank you for the host, Criminal Network. How the hell are you? Cheers. Let's see. AI secretary. An AI that has become commonly used as a household secretary, synchronized with the resident's automation system, clothing, food, daily schedules, health management, and mental care. This AI manages all aspects of human needs, and is often equipped with a hollow avatar that is capable of conversation, making solitary life less lonely, because lonely people sometimes go a little bit crazy. Quitting as your host. I'm not actually quitting, I was just messing with someone. I'm doing well, thanks for asking. Happy Friday to you. You know what? Actually, that is true. It is Friday. A proper toast. Welcome. We are just getting started on Psychopath's Mandatory Happiness, which I believe is a visual novel with, I'm not entirely sure what their mechanical structure is for their case solving. We're kind of just starting to get to that. And I guess the game has all the information as well. Yeah, this is out next Tuesday for PS Vita and PS4, so we're getting ourselves an early look at it. I just finished the first season of the show, literally minutes before I went live.
すぐにママから電話がかかってくるよ。
バカじゃねえの。そんなに娘が信用できねえの？だったら東京なんか行かせなきゃいいだろ。
ねえ。私勉強するために東京へ来たの。家族だって私の将来を考えて。
What did I think about the show? Keeping away from any spoilers at all, I really like their world building. Like, I think they constructed a very interesting take on a future society. Plot-wise, generally enjoyed it. Visually, really enjoyed it a lot. A lot of just really solid art across the board. But their world is what really got me. I love the world. Haven't watched both seasons of the movie, no. Just season 1. Like I said, literally finished minutes before I went live with this. I wasn't going to run this without proper context.
俺はどうなる？置いていくのか？なあ、帰ろうぜ。また一緒の高校で俺と。
So I guess for once, reviewing the game isn't actually free. Instead, it cost me about $80 for the anime. Oh well. Price of accuracy. Suddenly, it seemed like Shiori's cell phone started ringing.
ママからだ。ごめん。本当もう限界。私行くね。
Did you think the opening and ending sounded like the best thing ever? Second intro, so freaking stylish. Oh, man. Male suspect grabbed her cell and shoved his own cell in her face. The moment she saw it, Shiori's face froze. The hollow image projected from his phone was of Shiori in her middle school uniform. She was asleep, hunched over on her desk, and her skirt was all wrinkled. For some reason, the moment I saw that uniform, a faint pain surged within my head. Even though I had no memories of my school days, I felt slightly nostalgic.
こんなホロいつ撮ったの？
可愛いだろ？同じクラスにいた頃のお前だ。3D 高精細モードで撮影してあるから、どんな角度からでもバッチリ映ってるはずだ。こいつをお前の友達全員に送りつけてやる。お前の携帯端末からな。
Creeper?
やめて。消して。早く。
Shiori desperately lunged for the phone. The male suspect ran away, taunting her, and they both vanished from the street camera's view. That was all the evidence we could retrieve.
脅迫ですね。確かにこれは誘拐事件です。
Taking advantage of the other party's weakness and gaining control with threats. Such a shameless act. But since he had done that, his hue must have been clouded prior to this.
いやいやいや、ちょっと待ってくれよ、久我たち嬢。友達同士のちょっとした行き違いかもしれねえじゃねえか。
So interesting that our two options for who to play as were an inspector and an enforcer.
根拠はなぜ彼をかばうのです。もしかして彼と面識があるのでしょうか。
ねえよ。ねえけどさ、あいつ多分後輩なんだよ。
後輩？どういうことだ？
松方しおりがホロで着てた制服は俺の母校のものだ。佐渡海上市、そこの公立中学校の制服だよ。
I kind of like their side inserts.
佐渡海上市。
Feeling those words on my tongue. Sado Marine City. My head started to hurt again. Why was this happening? It was annoying and interfering with my thoughts.
なでしこ姫さん、具合でも悪いのか？
いえ、問題ありません。では、少年と松方しおりは佐渡海上市公立中学での同級生である可能性が高いと考えられますね。
Yeah, the game is based on an anime series. 2 seasons and 1 movie. It's based on the world and includes a bunch of the characters. The events were not in any of those. I think this takes place around the halfway point in the first season, just given certain things I've seen. And the actual creator of the original series was overseeing the game as well.
そうなると少年の身元もすぐに割れそうですね。この映像の後の行動は？
あいにくだけど消息不明。坊やも一緒にね。カメラやスキャナを避けられちゃ分析のしようもないわ。
少なくとも坊やには悪いことをしてるって自覚はあるってことか。
The location was unknown. However, they had left a huge clue.
東京都外、特に北陸方面の街頭カメラ、スキャナー、その他公安局管轄のデータ収集システムによる記録内容の方はどうでしょうか。
そっちもいまいちね。そもそも地方の情報インフラは遅れてるのよ。
北陸。なるほどね。そういうことか。いい感してるな、久我たち。
勘ではありません。言動からの分析です。
どういうことですか？
彼は一緒に帰ろうと訴えていました。ならば2人の行き先として考えられるのは佐渡海上市ではないでしょうか。
You're welcome, Zill. I'm enjoying it as well. I couldn't understand why he had done such a thing, and even though I did not know why, I knew how to track his movements, so we just had to follow that trail.
北陸ブロックより緊急通報。新潟県佐渡海上市の海底ライナー駅該当スキャナにて色素悪化を検知。少年がドローン警告後に逃走したようです。
Other characters that make you feel the same disgust as the antagonists from Sword Art Online Season 2. There is some interesting cast in the anime. A thorough investigation and analysis was conducted at once. All street scanners among underwater subway stations were analyzed, and footage from the cameras were reviewed. Shiori Matsukata's terrified face popped up in a pixelated 2D image. As the male suspect forced Shiori onto a train, his face could now clearly be seen. Yeah, he looks like a chump. It was easy to identify him now. Haruto Sato, age 16, born in Sato Marine City, where he currently attended a local high school. Haruto's hue was a dark orange color, indicating impulsive criminal tendencies. We did not know if he was a latent criminal already, but immediate therapy was a must.
松方しおりの方はまだ色相がそこまで濁ってはいません。ですが、誘拐犯に連れ去られる状況というのはかなりのストレスだと判断できます。早急な保護が必要です。
That was something they covered in the show that I thought was very interesting. It's not just the people committing the crimes who have the fucked up hues. The people they're doing things to, well, it has kind of a serious effect on you. And if it has a big enough effect, it might push you so far that you're unrecoverable as well.
ああ、二人とも救ってやらねえとな。
In which case, it's into an isolation tank for the rest of your life for a shot to the head.
二人ともですか。松方しおりだけでなく。
だってさ、まだハルトだって潜在犯じゃねえ。だったら、それは俺たちが救う相手じゃねえか。
I felt a sharp sensation pierce my chest. Enforcer Tsurugi was right. Here I was, already treating Haruto Sato like a latent criminal.
そうですね。二人が潜在犯となる前に保護できるよう努力を尽くしましょう。
Really jarring after the bright colors of Phoenix, right? It's a much darker world. The analysis stated that he would likely become a latent criminal, but we would save them both. As long as he had not become one, he still needed to be saved. I wanted to save as many people as possible. Otherwise, I would not have chosen the path of a detective. To save those who should be saved. That was my job. And so we, the Public Safety Bureau's Division 1, headed for Sato Marine City, from the place beyond the sea.
着陸します。
A section of the dome covering the city opened and welcomed us within. For an instant, I smelled a salty sea breeze.
ねえ、いつまで私を連れ回す気なの？
Have a good night, Zill. Take care and rest well, man.
いい加減にしてよ。私のあんなホロ盗撮したり、それで脅迫したり。ハルト、なんかちょっとおかしいよ。
Latent criminal means unrecoverable. Once you're a latent criminal, your crime coefficient will never drop far enough for you to not be considered one again.
ごめん、困らせるつもりじゃなかったんだ。ホロだってお前が可愛いからつい取っちゃって脅したの。
門限だってあるんだし仕方ないじゃない。ねえハルト、何かあったの？こんなことしたらハルトのお母さんたちだって心配するよ。
And technically, she's blackmailed, but she's not actually kidnapped exactly yet. So that's gonna muddy things up a little bit. Hey, Pixie, how are you? Oh, hang on, something from the daimyo. Yeah, I think daimyo may be leaning towards Phoenix Wright instead. How am I finding the game? We haven't really gotten to the game part of it yet. We're still in all the intro stuff, but they're actually doing a reasonable job of covering information about the setting without forcing you to read a ton of information about the setting if you already know anything about it.
あんな親なんか関係ねえよ。勉強しろ、勉強しろってそればっかり。俺だってあんなに頑張ってたのに。
Aw, he tried so hard, got so far, and in the end, it didn't even matter.
俺のこと分かってくれるのはお前だけなんだよ。だから二度と会わないなんて言わないでくれ。脅すような真似したのは謝るから。まだ好きなんだ。
No, didn't play Gravity Rush. Watched some streams of it, but never played it.
え？私そんなこと言ってない。
言ったよ。証拠もある。ほら、このメールだ。東京へ行ったらお別れです。お互いのためになりませんから、もう二度と会えないけど、お元気でってさ。
何これ？ 私じゃない。きっとママ。私のアカウントから勝手に送ったの。
お前のママが？
ママは言ってた。東京へ進学したら将来のためになるいいお友達をたくさん作ってほしいって。
Make good friends who will be useful for your future.
なんだよそれ。仕事のど田舎のオナチューの同級生なんか将来のためになんないから切るってわけか？
私そんなこと思ってないよ。だからハルトが急に訪ねてきても普通に会ったし、一緒に遊んだじゃない。
そりゃそうだよな。俺のこと嫌いなら会ってくれるわけねえよな。思い切って会いに来てよかった。でもよく私の東京での住所が分かったよね。ハルトの家のホームセクレタリー AI ってすごい高性能なんだね。
Oh, this is where he's gonna sound like a
友達の
stalker,
住
I
所
bet.
まで調べて案内してくれるなんて。
だろ？昨日も話したけどさ、朝起きたらホロアバターがいきなり名乗ってさ、いつの間にか新しい AI がダウンロードされてたんだろうけど。
Interesting.
僕はアルファ。君を助けに来た。会いたい子がいるんだよね。隠さなくてもいいんだ。僕は君をずっと見てたからね。その子に会いに行けば、東京は鎖国してるわけじゃないよね。道案内なら僕がやってあげるよ。そう言って AI は本当に俺をお前に会わせてくれた。これって運命の導きってやつじゃね。
That's
俺
an
とお前
awfully
は
convenient AI.
離れ離れになっちゃいけないんだ。
By the way, thank you to everyone who's put out retweets to raise signal.
Welcome to Radio
Much
Zero.
appreciated. And I, sir, cheers and welcome to you. Happy Friday.
そうなのかもね。ねえ、もう気が済んだでしょ？私の携帯端末返して。学校サボっちゃったし、ママとも話をしなきゃ。
嫌だ。
ハルト？わがまま言わないでよ。また夏休みにでも遊べばいいじゃない。
Less convenient and more direly sinister. Well, who says the two have to be far apart from one another? Convenient sinister.
せっかく会えたんだ。もう少しだけ一緒にいてくれよ。そうしたらフォローも消す。端末も返すからさ。いいだろ。一日だけでいいんだ。
Yeah, that's handing somebody something just right to help push them over the edge.
お前の嫌がるようなこともしない。約束する。だから頼むよ。でないと俺。
Lady, I'm desperate. Love me or I'm gonna fuck up your life.
わかったわよ。一日だけ。一日だけだからね。
この町には俺たちの思い出の場所がたくさんあるよな。
Sato Marine City National Hospital, a hospital under the Ministry of Health and Welfare. It was also our temporary headquarters during this case. It was within the central management tower, the core of the city. Like its name suggested, it was a landmark where all of the city's systems were managed. In addition, there were living quarters for its employees, facilities for firefighting drones, and so on. All of the city's necessary services were located here. With a VTOL aircraft takeoff and landing facility on the roof, this tower would more than meet our needs as a temporary headquarters. This VTOL was called the Super Ambulance, but it was actually a PSB exclusive vehicle, mainly used when an incident brought us to more rural areas. Yes, I can't let you do that, Dave.
市内の街頭カメラ、スキャナから得たデータは東京に残った空の森が分析している。その結果、彼らはどうやら市内をレンタカーで移動しているらしい。
わお、おっかね持ち。
茶化すな。それについて不審な点がある。そうだな、空の森。
そうそう。今までの交通機関全部料金フリーパスで移動してるのよ。 ちょっとおかしくない？
I have to assume that means the AI is backing them.
以前からこの犯行のために用意していた可能性は？
その可能性も考えたんだけど、事前にフリーパス契約をしていた形跡がないのよね。ついでに言えば、それだけのお小遣いがもらえるほど裕福な家でもなさそうだし。
何らかの不正手段が行われていると見るべきですね。引き続き調査をお願いできますか？
もちろんよ。可愛いなでしこちゃんの頼みだもの。頑張って開ける。
私の容姿は任務と関係ないと思いますが。
場を和ませるちょっとしたジョークよ。弥生もそんな怖い顔しないの。じゃまたね。
I always thought for all the color palette they kept, her hair was the one thing that always looked incredibly out of place to me. I mean, yeah, some people wear the bright red and things like that, but her particular shade of blonde always looked weirdly out of place in this show to me. Analyst Karunomori was quite capable, but I could not really understand her.
とにかくだ。やっこさんたちはまだ市内から出てない。だろう、監視官。
ああ、佐渡海上市から出るルートを調べたが、都市の外に出た様子はない。奴らはまだ町の中にいる。
じゃ、ちゃっちゃと追いかけますか。
全員ドミネーターを持て。いつ必要になるかわからんからな。
Alright, that's a bit of information I need to cover for anyone who's not familiar with the show. Dominator, officially known as the Dominator Portable Psychological Diagnosis and Suppression System. It's a special firearm that is authorized for inspectors and enforcers to use during emergencies. The Dominator has priority access to the civil system and analyzes the target's psychopaths in real time. If the target's psychopath exceeds a certain threshold, the safety is automatically released and a mode is selected via voice prompt. Before use, validation from an authorized user ID is required, so only inspectors and enforcers are allowed to fire. Also, online connectivity to the civil system is required. That's not entirely 100% accurate. Your mode is selectable via voice prompt to a point. The gun will make some of its own determinations on whether or not it's just going to kill you. Oh, thank you for the host, Vonic. Much
そんな
appreciated.
言い方。まるでハルトがもう潜在犯みたいな言い方じゃねえか、ギノザさん。
色相の濁りから考えて、そうなる可能性もある。いざという時執行できない執行官など必要ない。
Dominator's basically the gun from Dread? Not really. His gun was voice activated, had a bunch of different modes. This gun is hooked into a computer system that will basically assess and decide whether or not you can do anything with it. It will decide whether or not someone is a threat. It will decide what the appropriate level of response is to that threat. You actually have very little control over it other than pointing it at someone.
わかったよ。
An automated container rolled towards us and opened its lid. Two Dominators were present. Grab the one on the right.
使い方わかりますか？
配属初日に登録は済ませてあります。問題ありません。
Seriously need the technology? Oh god, no, we fucking don't. Absolutely not. Interesting. It actually made me touch the touchpad. Well, there's lag between your gun and the server. Yeah, that would be a pretty serious problem.
携帯型心理診断鎮圧執行システムドミネーター起動しました。
Asking a system to decide. Well, let's just say they do some very interesting stuff with it in the show. Covering the strengths and flaws of such a system.
ユーザー認証久我たちなでしこ監視官公安局刑事課所属使用許諾確認適正ユーザーです。現在の執行モードはノンリーサルパラライザー。落ち着いて照準を定め対象を無力化してください。
Or if you tried to use and just made the old AOL dial-up noise. Quick! Well, we're fucked. A voice spoke from it. There was a profound heaviness to the gun. When I realized I would be able to protect society with it, its weight grew within my clutches. I stiffened my posture. As an inspector, as a member of civil society, I would not fail to uphold all the responsibility that came with it.